Do you want to know how to find freelance jobs from home and how you potentially can then grow it into a six-figure online income? Then this video is for you. My name is Michael and I've worked online for years, and I have also started as a freelancer, and I've been able to eventually build it up to a six-figure online income. And many people ask me how I've done that, so therefore I decided to record this video where I'll both show you some platforms where you can get started as a freelancer and share my experiences, and I will also tell you how I have done it differently than what most people tell you, because this is not just about like mentioning a couple of freelance platforms and send you there. There are more tips and tricks that many people do not use, but that can be a very effective way if you want to grow a real big online income. First of all, I just want to make it clear that what I'm sharing in this video is based on real experiences, because I have had a lot of freelance jobs online and I have also been able to build it to a really great online income overall. But it's not the usual video where I'll just give you a list of 10 freelance platforms. Go here, sign up, make hundreds of dollars per day. Because that is definitely possible, and I will share some freelance platforms where you can do this, but there's more to it than that. And if you are clever about it, you can actually do it with a certain approach that makes it more likely that you can get a lot more freedom and a lot more money in the long run. And this is this process that I will share in this video, so then you can see if it's the right process for you or not. But let's start by going over a couple of different platforms that can be a good place to start. But I will also after that share another tip about ways to find freelance jobs that many people do not use, and that can potentially give even better options. So just want to make that clear. But let's start just talking about overall a couple of different platforms where you can get started with freelance jobs. And then we'll go more into the different approaches and techniques that I recommend to get the most out of this to build real freedom. So if you're just looking for a regular freelance job or remote jobs, then flex jobs can be one of the good platforms. I'm going to show you 3 platforms here, and all of them can be great ways to potentially earn good money. But it's very hard from these different platforms to reach total freedom, because you will still be hired by others, and the earning potential, of course, depends on how good a freelancer you become. But if you don't mind getting hired by others, the advantage of that is, of course, you know exactly how much you get, how much time you need to put in and all that. Then FlexJob can be a good way, because they check all the job posts here. You can find jobs from any country. You can see all of these different categories here: entry jobs, higher level jobs, all that, and high paying jobs also. And they vet all this, so you know that there are no scams, because that is a challenge on many freelance platforms and job posting platforms. They do charge a small fee for that, but then it also makes it one of the best places to find this. So this is just one option. When we talk about freelance jobs, you know that we have to, of course, talk about Fiverr. If you've ever looked into freelance jobs, you have probably heard about that. It's one of the biggest freelance platforms, and you can see all these different categories are what people are offering services in, and there's thousands of people that are hiring people here every single day within these different categories. So basically, no matter what your skills are, you can sign up as a freelancer here. But of course, it's not as easy as just signing up, because I get messages very often from people saying like, "Oh, I signed up, I didn't get hired for months or for a year or something like that. What do I do?" Well, the thing is that just because you sign up doesn't mean that you get hired. There is a lot of competition on Fiverr, so you really need to have something to offer. You need to be willing to work for not a very high salary at first, and then build up a reputation. It will take time, it will take effort, it can be frustrating, but it can also be done. You see, some people are making a very good money here for sure. So the last of these platforms, before we go into a different approach to this that not many people actually talk about, is called K-Work. And this is very similar to Fiverr, but the advantage of this here is that it's not that big. You can see the categories, there are many of the same ones, but it's not so well known yet. So that means that there's less competition, but it still has a good number of clients. So that can be another option here to go here. But again, of course, you need to take the time to build your profile, to build a reputation. Eventually, it can build into some quite decent money. But let's now talk about a slightly different approach that I have actually used myself to build a good online income. So all these platforms here and many other freelance platforms, they can be a great way to build a good online income, but you need to be aware that there's a lot of competition on these platforms and you are still depending on getting hired by others, so it will not give you complete freedom to work on your own terms if that is what you're going for. Some people do prefer getting hired by others, and then these platforms can be great, and I also do have written reviews of all of these platforms here, so you can check that out on my website if you want to know more about any of them, so you can check that out below. But personally, when I started doing freelance jobs, I wanted more freedom than that, and I didn't want to continuously being dependent on getting hired by others for small tasks. So let's talk about the approach that I took to this when I first started. So when I first started making money online, or looking into making money online, because of course it takes time no matter what method you use, then I was looking for a way to make money online because it could give ultimate freedom to work on my own terms when I wanted to. So therefore also I decided, for example, not to use like regular freelance platforms like Fiverr that are hugely competitive and it's hard to build real freedom from it, but it can give good earnings, but it was just not what I wanted. I wanted a different type of online income. So first of all, I wanted to cover my expenses and pay the bills while I was building something else. So what I did, instead of just going for the biggest and most famous platforms, I went for more local freelance jobs, local job posting, and I was looking both for like physical freelance jobs where I had to go somewhere in my local area and do freelance jobs, and of course I was looking online, but also online freelance jobs, and I found some good freelance jobs where some of it I could do at home, some of them I had to go to a certain location, but there was less competition there than there, for example, is on Fiverr. And yes, I had to go through some job applications and things like that, and how many options that are available of course depends on your area, but in most countries there will be people looking for someone local or native at least for doing these jobs, and often they can be done at least some of it from your home. So that's something many people don't talk about. They always say like, oh, freelance jobs, just go to Fiverr or Upwork, but there are so many more options also, like to go for these local options. So try to be creative like that. Look for what people are looking for in your local area. It can be a local job post, it can be a local Facebook group, social media, and there you can find some often some good jobs. And that's what I did. I found jobs. I was looking for jobs that could pay the bills, so I had enough to cover and also save up a little bit, but I did not try to get full-time work there because I wanted to build something for myself at the same time. So while I was doing that to pay everything, cover the cost, putting in effort, I at the same time left enough time to put into building my own online business. So I found some training that taught me about affiliate marketing because I looked into many options and I figured that affiliate marketing fit me the best, and it's also what I recommend if you're starting from scratch and want to start an online business. Like affiliate marketing is one of the best options. So I didn't have to worry about paying the bills because I was doing freelance jobs and I got some more long-term ones to cover the bills, and I had enough time to also put into that, because if you work full-time, also having time to do build an online business, if that's what you're going for, that's very hard and exhausting. So that's what I did, and then I followed that training. I learned to do affiliate marketing. I learned to create great content that can actually help people, and slowly started getting some traction. And the more I started earning online, the less freelance jobs I accepted, and eventually I just basically stopped doing freelance jobs and just worked for myself online. And many people don't talk about this approach. They think it's all or nothing, so there's things that they need to either quit their job and just sit full-time and work online, but it can be hard if you're starting an online business to get true freedom, because if you don't have an income to cover your bills and all that, it can become stressful and you become impatient, and it will take time, it will take effort. It's not something you can just do like in a month or two or so. It takes continuously time and effort. You're learning a brand new skill, you're building a business from the scratch, and you would never expect to do that if it was not online, to be able to do it in a few weeks, right? And it's the same online, learning first the skills, learning how to do it, take the time to do it and implement it, and it just gives more peace if you have something to cover the regular cost while you're building something else. And freelance jobs is great for that, especially local ones, because there's less competition often. You can also do it with the platforms that I showed you. That's why I showed them for you, to you, because you can get some freelance jobs there, and just like, don't do it full time, then put into building your own online business also. Then eventually when that grows up, you don't have to accept the freelance jobs, and then you can have an online income earning 6 figures and more potentially if you put enough time and effort into it and continuously learn. And then you can truly work on your own terms when and where you want to. So this is the approach that I took, and that is how I created a full-time online income working for myself. And it's an approach many people do not talk about, how you can combine freelance jobs to build an online business if that's what you're going for. But no matter what your preferences are, then I have more information, for example, about the exact steps and the training that I have followed to build a real online business. I have more information about that on my website. We'll leave links to that below. Also, the 3 freelance platforms I talked about here, they can be great places to start online, and then also look into local ones in your local area, your country. That's definitely something I recommend. But I have, for example, of those 3, I have full written reviews. I'll also leave the links to those below so you can go and check that out. Also, if you have any questions, any comments, any experiences you want to share, please just share in the comments below, and I personally do reply to every question there and every comment. And if this video helped you, make sure to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.